What if I told you that the most feared warriors of Norse mythology were not men, but spectral women who soared above the battlefield, unseen by mortals, choosing who would live and who would die? What if these celestial beings were not just messengers of fate, but harbingers of something far more terrifying? The Valkyries, the so-called choosers of the slain, are often depicted as noble, armored warriors of Odin, but the truth is far darker. These were not just battle maidens escorting fallen heroes to Valhalla, they were figures of death, entities of blood, and even, in some cases, manipulators of war itself. The Valkyries were not always seen as benevolent, nor were they merely passive observers of battle. In the oldest sagas, they had a presence that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest warriors. Their gaze alone could decide a man's fate. And when the sun set over a battlefield soaked in blood, the whispers of these otherworldly beings could still be heard riding the wind. The classic image of Valkyries, and the truth that lies beneath. Most people picture Valkyries as strong, ethereal women riding winged horses, clad in shining armor, and choosing only the most honorable warriors to join Odin's army in Valhalla. But that's just one version of the tale, one shaped by later retellings that sought to romanticize these beings. In reality, the original myths portray them as eerie, supernatural entities with the power to decide the outcome of a battle before the first sword is even drawn. In Old Norse belief, the Valkyries were not always beautiful. Some were depicted as shadowy, ghost-like figures, their eyes glowing in the darkness, appearing suddenly on the battlefield. Their armor was not always golden and gleaming. In some sagas, it dripped with the blood of the warriors they had claimed. And most terrifyingly, not all Valkyries simply chose who would die, some were believed to cause death itself. Valkyries as harbingers of death. One of the most unsettling aspects of Valkyrie lore is their connection to bloodshed. While they are often described as divine escorts to the fallen, some sources suggest a much more sinister role. In the Dara Song, a dark and cryptic poem, Valkyries are described weaving the fate of men, quite literally. They stand at a loom, weaving battle with the intestines of slain warriors, using skulls as weights, and swords as shuttles to craft the destiny of armies. As they weave, they chant ominous spells, sealing the fates of thousands with each stroke of their ghastly loom. These are not merely the angels of death, they are its architects. Some warriors believed that if a Valkyrie so much as locked eyes with them, their doom was sealed. Others swore that on nights before great battles, they could hear the Valkyries whispering in the wind, naming those who would not see the dawn. But what's even more unsettling? Some Valkyries weren't just choosing the slain, they were ensuring their chosen ones died. In the Hervara saga, there are accounts of warriors who, in the heat of battle, saw a woman in the distance, watching them. The moment their eyes met, their limbs turned to stone, their swords fell from their hands, and in a heartbeat, they were slain. Some sagas even suggest that Valkyries had the ability to alter the minds of men, making them reckless, leading them to charge into battle and meet an inevitable, preordained death. The curse of the Valkyries: love, betrayal, and doom. Despite their godly power, Valkyries were not immune to fate themselves. Many myths tell of Valkyries who fell in love with mortal men, a dangerous, often tragic decision. The most famous of these is the story of Brynhilde, a Valkyrie punished by Odin for defying his will. Stripped of her divine power, she was forced into a deep, magical sleep, surrounded by flames that only a worthy warrior could pass through. But when she awoke, her fate was already sealed. Betrayal, heartbreak, and ultimately, death awaited her. Another legend speaks of a warrior who unknowingly wed a Valkyrie. She made him swear never to see her undressed, for in her truest form, she was not human. But curiosity got the best of him, and when he broke his vow, she vanished, never to be seen again. Some say he searched for her until the day he died, his soul forever restless. These stories show a deep contradiction in Valkyries. They were beings of war, yet they were also deeply intertwined with love, loss, and sacrifice. To love a Valkyrie was to court destruction, for their fates were never meant to intertwine with mortals. And those who dared to do so almost always met an untimely and bitter end. Valkyries beyond Norse myth, the evolution into witches and spirits. The legacy of the Valkyries didn't die with the Viking Age. As Norse paganism faded, their legend was twisted and transformed into folklore. In some Scandinavian tales, they became akin to witches or spirits, haunting the hills and forests, appearing to lost travelers as omens of death. Even in the Christian era, the echoes of Valkyries remained. Some scholars believe that the later European myths of fey women, mysterious beings who led men to their doom, were influenced by lingering tales of the Valkyries. Others argue that certain medieval depictions of death itself, especially the image of the pale, ghostly woman leading souls away, bear a striking resemblance to older Norse descriptions of these spectral warriors. A final warning: are they still among us? The Vikings may be gone, but their beliefs, their gods, and their legends still whisper through history. And so, we are left with a chilling question: if the Valkyries were real in the minds of ancient warriors, if they were truly seen, truly feared, what happened to them? Some say they disappeared with the old gods. But others believe they still ride the wind, watching battles unfold in the modern world, choosing the fallen, whispering their fate. So the next time you hear the wind howl across an empty battlefield, or feel a cold shiver down your spine when no one is there, ask yourself, are you hearing the voices of the fallen? Or the call of the Valkyries, still choosing their warriors, even now? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until next time.